Exodus 16, Bread from Heaven. Verse 1, And they journeyed from Elim, and all the congregation of the children of Israel came to the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the second month, after they departed from the land of Egypt. Then the whole congregation of the children of Israel complained against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. And the children of Israel said to them, Oh, that we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the pots of meat, and when we ate bread to the full. For you have brought us out into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger. Then the Lord said to Moses, Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather a certain quota every day, that I may test them, whether they will walk in my law or not. And it shall be on the 6th day that they shall prepare what they bring in, and it shall be twice as much as they gathered daily. Then Moses and Aaron said to all the children of Israel, At evening you shall know that the Lord has brought you out of the land of Egypt. And in the morning you shall see the glory of the Lord, for he hears your complaints against the Lord. But what are we, that you complain against us? Also Moses said, This shall be seen when the Lord gives you meat to eat in the evening, and in the morning bread to the full. For the Lord hears your complaints which you make against him. And what are we? Your complaints are not against us, but against the Lord. Then Moses spoke to Aaron, Say to all the congregation of the children of Israel, Come near before the Lord, for he has heard your complaints. Now it came to pass, as Aaron spoke to the whole congregation of the children of Israel, that they looked toward the wilderness, and behold, the glory of the Lord appeared in the cloud. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, I have heard the complaints of the children of Israel. Speak to them, saying, At twilight you shall eat meat, and in the morning you shall be filled with bread, and you shall know that I am the Lord your God. So it was that quail came up at evening and covered the camp, and in the morning the dew lay all around the camp. And when the layer of dew lifted, there on the surface of the wilderness was a small round substance, as fine as frost on the ground. So when the children of Israel saw it, they said to one another, What is it? For they did not know what it was. And Moses said to them, This is the bread which the Lord has given you to eat. This is the thing which the Lord has commanded. Let every man gather it according to each one's need, 1 omer for each person. According to the number of persons, let every man take for those who are in his tent. Then the children of Israel did so and gathered, some more, some less. So when they measured it by omers, he who gathered much had nothing left over, and he who gathered little had no lack. Every man had gathered according to each one's need. And Moses said, Let no one leave any of it till morning. Notwithstanding, they did not heed Moses, but some of them left part of it until morning, and it bred worm and stank, and Moses was angry with them. So they gathered it every morning, every man according to his need. And when the sun became hot, it melted. And so it was on the 6th day that they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for each one. And all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moses. Then he said to them, This is what the Lord has said. Tomorrow is a Sabbath rest, a holy Sabbath to the Lord. Bake what you will bake today, and boil what you will boil, and lay up for yourselves all that remains to be kept until morning. So they laid it up until morning, as Moses commanded, and it did not stink, nor were there any worms in it. Then Moses said, Eat that today, for today is a Sabbath to the Lord. Today you will not find it in the field. 6 days you shall gather it, but on the 7th day, the Sabbath, there will be none. Now it happened that some of the people went out on the 7th day to gather, but they found none. And the Lord said to Moses, How long do you refuse to keep my commandments and my laws? See, for the Lord has given you the Sabbath. Therefore he gives you on the 6th day bread for 2 days. Let every man remain in his place. Let no man go out of his place on the 7th day. So the people rested on the 7th day. And the house of Israel called its name manna. And it was like white coriander seed, and the taste of it was like wafers made with honey. Then Moses said, This is the thing which the Lord has commanded. Fill an omer with it. to be kept for your generations, that they may see the bread with which I fed you in the wilderness, when I brought you out of the land of Egypt. And Moses said to Aaron, Take a pot and put an omer of manna in it, and lay it up before the Lord, to be kept for your generations, as the Lord commanded Moses. So Aaron laid it up before the testimony, to be kept. And the children of Israel ate manna for 40 years, until they came to an inhabited land. They ate manna until they came to the border of the land of Canaan. Now an omer is 1/10 of an ephah. Let's read the commentary here for Exodus 16. Commentary is coming from the Tony Evans Bible Commentary. Exodus 16. So as it turned out, the people of Israel remained quick to forget what God could do. In the second month after leaving Egypt, they began what would be a habitual pattern, grumbling against Moses and Aaron. But since these brothers were the Lord's chosen servants, ultimately Israel's grumbling was directed against the Lord. When food ran low, they complained about how good they had it in Egypt. How sad that Egyptian slavery with a full belly looked better to them than God supplied freedom with a little hunger along the way. God was going to provide for them, but with his provision would be another test. He would rain bread from heaven, and they were only to gather what they would consume each day. On the sixth day, they were to gather enough for 2 days. Now there were fairly simple instructions God gave them for the people to follow, yet a rebellious heart will ignore even simple instructions. Verse 6 through 12. Moses and Aaron explained to the people that Israel's complaints against them were really complaints against the Lord. They were simply leading under God's authority. The pair also explained to the Israelites that the Lord would provide them with bread in the morning and meat in the evening. Faced with such provision, the people would surely know that theirs was a God who had brought them out of the land of Egypt. In verse 13 through 20. In the evening quail covered the camp, and in the morning God caused his heavenly bread to appear on the ground. Moses relayed God's instructions about gathering only enough for each day, 2 quarts per individual. None of the food was to be kept overnight. Nevertheless, some of the Israelites attempted to hoard it, and in the morning the leftover bread worms and stank. Verse 21 through 30. Moses explained why it was necessary to gather 2 days' worth on the 6th day. The 7th day was a holy Sabbath to the Lord, which was a hint of the commandment to come. The people were not to gather on that day, therefore they wouldn't find any in the field. But just as sure as some ignored the instruction about gathering too much, others ignored the instruction about not gathering on the Sabbath. As they went out to gather food, they did not find any. Needless to say, Moses was angry, and the Lord was angry too. Through his instructions, God was teaching the Israelites the principle that he provides for his people 1 day at a time. God's mercy are new every morning. Jesus articulates this kingdom provision in the Lord's Prayer. Give us today our daily bread, Matthew 6, verse 11. We will trust him to provide and receive it in the way he prescribes. In verse 31 through 36. Since the Israelites had never seen the unusual substance, before they asked, What is it? Which is in Hebrew the word manna, so that's what they call it. Moses commanded them to preserve 2 quarts of manna in a container so that future generations could see it. Eventually it would be placed in the Ark of the Covenant. Israel would eat manna every day for 40 years until they entered the land of Canaan. Alright, so that concludes Exodus 16. Stay tuned for Exodus 17.